Now, as we all know, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe is no stranger to changing actual historical fact in order to suit their own plot needs. Rather, it's claiming that entire ancient civilizations were brought about because of dual magic, to the idea that historical and mythological sites are actually brought about because of demons literally trapped underneath the ground, to that time Vector slaughtered hundreds of people because of a duel with Ryoga. I'm not gonna lie, that one still fucks with me. Like, what the fuck was that? But now, today, we have the claim that the water wheel, one of the most important inventions in human history, was brought about by Luke's ancestors. And now they, I guess, just own patents on gears and are now one of the richest families around who have a mansion and giant grounds based on gears. The only way this would be even more crazy is if this was actually Cardfight Vanguard and he used Gear Chronicle. Yes! This is the claim. And for some reason, learning this was very funny to me. There's just something about the idea of a character this goofy, this ridiculous, and it's just like, oh no, you thought you saw the insanity of Luke. You thought there was nothing left to do. No! They took it one step further. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. So yeah, we get Luke's backstory. First up, we should probably start with the beginning as we open with Luke just like being a complete kiss-ass for this final, like, of the brothers. She's trying to be like, Oni-chan, Oni-chan, and the kid's like, oh no, what have I done? And then, like, he says Luke can stay in the one room, and we see that it's gear patterned, and of course Luke's being rebellious, so he doesn't want to have anything to do with gears. And I thought it was really funny, because you always see these kind of, like, weird, sort of, kind of creepy sometimes looking backgrounds in these shows, and you just assume it's just the walls. No, it's wallpaper! It really is just what the kid wants his walls to be. I don't know why. I burst out laughing. It's so stupid, but it's so simple, and they just never do it in these things that it's funny. So yeah, then we get the opening, and then we cut to the other four siblings want Yuga and crew to help beat the brother. And Roman is just like, fuck you, no. Like, we're enemies. Why would we help you? Like, technically, like, only having to deal with the brother left helps Yuga and team. But there's like, please help us, Yuga, because you're a good person. And Yuga's kind of sitting there like, yeah, he doesn't really want to do it. Once again, I am forced to bring up, they gotta get rid of the masks. Like, it was even worse this episode. Several of the shots of those four, and they're not in it much, so it's fine. But, like, it's literally just freeze frame. Their mouths aren't even moving. There's no movement. And I do think it's funny, though, the way they're really just trying to really play into it. That is fun, though, but, like, the masks, they just gotta go. But so, yeah, then they're called on by Tiger, who's like, what the fuck is happening here? And so Tiger just, like, makes all of them come to the house, where we just see it's just giant, and there's just something kind of funny about it. Again, I brought this up last time. I like learning about them. I like learning about Luke's backstory, his home life, seeing this is where he comes from. You get in a sense that his family might be all a little crazy in a fun way, and that's sort of where he gets. I sort of hope everyone gets that. But yeah, we see that. Tiger takes them to the house. I really thought it was funny how when they got to the door, they were just exhausted by how long it is. You see this kind of thing in these shows all the time, just like the rich family's house, and it's just a goofily large estate, and everyone's just like, whatever. It's like, here's like, oh no, they hated walking this thing. Yeah, so then they go into the house where we meet Luke's great-grandfather. And I don't know why, I saw the design of this guy and the way he stood there. I thought he was just going to be a nothing character, just like a blasé old man. But he's not. He's like, hey, everybody, call me Gavin. Let's be friends. Let's work together. I like that he's the cool, fun, eccentric great-grandpa. We have no adults in this show. It's all children and Mimi, who's kind of a child. That's sort of the joke. Well, like, I wish we had more adults. So to finally get an adult character who is kind of like fun and unusual is something I appreciate. But yeah, so then he's just kind of like, I think it's funny that him and Yuga bond over like a weird love of tinkering. And then we find out like when Luke was little, they'd play a game where they try to distinguish the sounds of gears. And all this is and I like how Tiger is just like, stay on topic, damn it! I really love the way they've used Tiger. When she first came out, I'm like, I don't know, she looks like a buddy fight character. But she's so out there and over the top and like crazy. And this episode did a great job. There's some simple but just really effective, funny animation with her, the way she looks and the way she acts and the way she is around everybody. It's just all great. And so then like we find Luke has come back for his spare underwear, which is perfect. That is the Luke thing to do. And so yeah, and they come up to him and they're like, all right, I'm gonna duel you and bring you back. And it's weird it took them this long for the two to duel. Like, it's kind of interesting because you'd think sibling rivalry duel would be obvious. You would do that right away. But no, they took Tiger in a totally different direction with, like, giving her a relationship with Asuna, having she be used in more fun, unique ways, and all that's very just fun, different, and creative. And so, yeah, and then the duel starts, and what's kind of interesting is I actually did think for a minute there, what if the joke is this is where Luke has his first loss? Tiger wins, and then just, like, things just go in a completely weird, wacky direction. But yeah, no, the duel starts, and it is fun, because I like how, like, just when Tiger takes her turn where she tries to OTK him, it's just, I'm going for the fucking kill, bitch! Like, there was no way around it. She's like, I am taking you down right now. Because it's not a long duel, like, what? They all have, it's like 3 turns, 4 turns max. But, like, no, like, doing just fun stuff like that, like, I'm just going to take you down is kind of fun. And then, right when Luke is about to lose because he's too afraid of his older sister to think straight, the Luke Man returns! And I like how you see that it's the one helmet who's working with the brother. I also like how the helmet was just like, you need your mother to get your underwear out for you? That's fun. But yeah, no, and you see it's another helmet doing it. Are the helmets working together? Are there separate factions amongst the helmets? Like, what's going on? I want to know. Why does the helmet think using Luke is the best course of action? Okay, that's probably because he's the idiot, so it's easiest to manipulate. But yeah, no, he just comes out, and that look Tiger makes when Luke is explaining his trap, she's just like, fuck everything. That's good, and then Luke wins. He busts out the fusion, he takes it down, and what's kind of interesting is that they've sort of taken the sort of mystery out of what is going on here, because they've just kind of flat out told you. They've just told you, it's the helmet manipulating Luke. What's it doing? Bad guy stuff. Person A, B, and C knows 1, 2, and 3. Like, all these little things, but because, like, you're interested and you're invested, you're not hung up on the little things they'd normally make you waste time on. A lot of shows would make it. You don't know what's going on, where the helmet comes from or why he is the way he is for, like, 10 episodes. They'd make it that the younger brother has no clue, or is more mysterious. Instead, he's like, all right, this is a thing that's happening. How do I get what I want? That's how you make characters intelligent. He just decides, all right, I may not really know what's happening here, but I'm going to take full advantage of it and use it. And I love the shot of Luke Man being taken away by the strings. And it looks both really pathetic and silly and makes him look like an idiot. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, wow, what are they going to do? Like, he is very powerful. I assume it's going to culminate with Yuga getting polymerization and doing some fusions. Or who knows, maybe they skip fusions and they have him do synchros. I know that's kind of crazy, but, like, they could do it. But yeah, no, and so that was this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7. Oh yeah, and of course the episode ends with how you want it. Yuga goes to the siblings, but instead of being like, okay, I'll work with you, or okay, I'll do what you want, it's, alright, I have a plan, and I need you guys to do something for me. I like that, just taking advantage of the situation for himself. But yeah, no, that was this week's episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. A lot of fun. I really like the creative ways they're using this Luke Man thing and not really trying to, like, fall into any, like, typical mistakes you could make with this stuff. But as for the TCG question of the week, Altergeist came out swinging at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Extravaganza. Was it Germany or the UK? But anyways, it got 3 top spots in top 8. Now that's kind of funny because I actually hate going up against Altergeist. And this also ties into the fact that I think a Spiral deck did good at a virtual event this past weekend too. Which I also hate Spiral, but seeing it kind of top in Tri-Brigade meta kind of makes me excited. So my question for you is, are there any decks you hated going up against them when they were like meta? And I know Geist is around, but like it's not meta at the moment. I'm talking a deck that was popular to the point where you hated it, but now that it isn't as good as it was, when it does good, you get kind of happy for that. Like, I'm like that with Necros. I hated Necros when they were tier 1, almost tier 0 at the time, but seeing them when they get their occasional top, I'm like, good for you, Necros. But yeah, tell me that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week for more Luke Man shenanigans.